How's it going, folks? It has been a very exciting couple of days in the markets with the S&P breaking out to brand new all-time highs on the news of a potential extension to the ceasefire in Iran and potential further peace talks between Iran and the US. I do think it is probably a little bit too early to get very excited about this, particularly for crypto holders. I think this is probably going to leave quite a few people trapped high and dry, unfortunately. I'm going to get into exactly why I think that in just a moment. But first of all, take a look at this, because this is what it's all coming down to. We have got potential for an increased ceasefire, an extension to the 2-week ceasefire in the Middle East. The White House feels good about the prospects of a deal as Pakistani officials launch a new round of diplomacy, and we're seeing that come through into the S&P, into risk assets. The S&P 500 breaking out to brand new all-time highs. This has been reflected in the crypto market as well, but I'm going to save that for just a moment because, as I said at the start of the video, I do think a lot of people are going to get too excited about this too soon. I think a lot of people have already got too excited about this, and I think a lot of those people are going to be trapped and they're going to be left high and dry, unfortunately. But that's the big story. We've got a potential extension to the 2-week ceasefire, and we've got the potential for a new round of peace talks between the US and between Iran. Pakistan pushing that as well, obviously, as an intermediary. A high-level delegation led by Pakistan's army chief held talks with officials in Iran on the possibility of a new round of negotiations between Tehran and Washington. White House spokesperson expressed optimism for continued negotiations between the US and Iran, saying future talks were likely to be held again in Pakistan's capital, Islamabad. Markets taking this well so far. We've also got some of the first peace talks in a very long time between Israel and Lebanon. Of course, Israel isn't actually fighting or bombing Lebanon, at least not directly. They are fighting Hezbollah in Lebanon. So, yeah, this is a potentially tenuous link there towards peace. I'm not sure if that's the right choice of words, but the point is, this issue is a big part of the ceasefire negotiations between Iran and the US. Donald Trump says the leaders of Israel and Lebanon will speak today, with Israeli attacks continuing in the country. That's despite the US-Iran ceasefire. Meanwhile, the American military has given an update on its blockade of Iranian ports. That's the situation right now. So look, we're closer to a peaceful situation. We're closer to an extension of the ceasefire, which we know markets liked. But I've said this before. I mean, obviously, the situation now isn't necessarily better in any way than it was before the Iran conflict, although the reflection, the markets would show you just that, right? We're now well above pre-Iran war levels in the S&P. Use that as a proxy for risk assets. And in fact, we're above all-time highs in the S&P. It's really interesting how the market digests news like this, right? And I've spoken about this before. It's when you get a more positive resolution on something that was going to be negative, i.e., you get certainty on a new uncertain situation. The way the market tends to perceive that is like it was better than it was before, at least in the case of the S&P. Just something to keep an eye on. I think it's pretty interesting. I do remain in my long position, and we have seen similar moves in Bitcoin and in crypto, as I'm sure you've noticed already. So the key thing for me here is, a couple of days ago, we broke this strategic or this very important high here, right, at 76K. And that is basically, okay, that's structurally important because it's as high as we've been since the lowest we've been in a long time, right? Since the low put in on the 6th of February here. So we've come in right to the top of the range again, in fact, broken out from the top of the range, 76K. Now, I mentioned previously on the channel, I've been long since 65K. And that trade is looking absolutely beautiful right now. Okay, we got long into this trade on some of these red days. Okay, we put in limit orders in the books. I basically had the thesis that too many people were getting short on all of these moves. We were coming down because we were liquidating longs that got long during moves like this, and they were fragile. And we analyzed the liquidation risk in the market and assessed that there was an asymmetry of short interest in the market for what was actually happening. Bought into the wicks, caught the wick at 65k, which I'm really pleased by. And we knew that there were a few checkpoints along the way. So I explained my first target for this, first target area was the point of control of the fixed range volume profile as drawn in from the low put in on the 6th of February. The second area of interest, first sort of target to start taking out serious profits, was up here at just north of 72k, okay, the most recent highs during the downtrend before we started coming down. And that links up nicely with the top side of the node of the fixed range volume profile, right? That's the thick bit of the chart, if you prefer me to say it that way. And then the final target was, of course, the top of the range here. So I did on Tuesday, sorry, take out a little bit of profit from this trade again. Look, what you want to be doing at these extremes of the range, okay, I think price is going to be volatile around extremes of the range, less volume's been put in there, the market's thinner, etc., etc. I like to watch for how we break. Okay, so came up to this, broke it, and got almost immediately rejected. We don't have a very long wick there, so I didn't. Could have placed a stop order here on this wick somewhere in that region, a little bit higher, a little bit lower. Didn't. I ended up exiting just on market after seeing that happen for another portion of the trade. So you'll see here trade history back on Tuesday. We got out 0.02 BTC more of this leverage long trade for a result of just about $200 in profit there. Very pleased with that. We have still got 0.03 remaining in the trade, and we're currently up an unrealized gain of $258. Remember, we've been taking size out of this trade ever since those first target points that I mentioned. But why am I still in a portion of this trade? Okay, the market's bullish right now, and structurally, you can see that we're building value at these higher levels, right? What we didn't do was come up here, test the high, and just get absolutely rocked back to the downside. What happened instead was exactly what happened, right? A brief break of the highs, gentle sort of sell-off, relatively gentle sell-off, we'll say, and now we're building value at these higher valuations as the S&P breaks away into new all-time high territory, into price discovery. So, yeah, look, definitely don't want to leave this in. I don't think this is the end of the bull market by any case. And of course, the risk now is the same risk that it's always been, realistically. Okay, we've got a tricky situation in the Middle East, right? The war isn't over. The ceasefire might be extended and there might be more peace talks. To me, it's too soon to get excited about that. Okay, I think it would be a great thing, just by the way. But we're not even in it seems there aren't even live direct conversations going on right now, okay, between the US and Iran. Okay, we've got indirect conversations, and we've got Pakistan pushing for a new round of US-Iran peace negotiations. There's intermediaries here, right? And of course there has to be, but my point is things are just not, like we're closer to the end of the war than we were, but we're not there just yet, right? And the second reason, which is potentially more pressing, is the liquidation situation. So you can see on the 1 day, not a massive disparity between long side liquidation risk versus short side. On the 30-day, now there is a big disparity. This means there are way more leverage longs in the market than leverage shorts. And a lot of people basically just betting on this. They're not even necessarily betting on the end of the war at this point, because we know that they'll be shaken out on any news of the peace talks. If you really boil it down, people didn't get long because the war's about to end. People got long because of pieces of news like this about increased peace talks, which is not the same thing, which means logically they then get disappointed when we get any sort of regression on that news, and then they get liquidated because they're trading with money that they didn't have. And when they get liquidated, supply gets dumped on the market, right? And you get moves like this one here, okay? Everything's going great, loads of people getting leverage long, bang, we come down and liquidate those longs, and you get a big extension to the downside. And I think, unfortunately, something like that is brewing, right? That and the fact that we are right at the top of the range. And, logically, it makes sense. Now we're at the top of the range for us to fall and continue in that range, because in the macro, Nothing has really changed. The market has been consumed with this Iran news, which makes sense over the last few weeks, months, but we're still in the same situation, broadly speaking, that we were before, i.e., this bear market phase. And I don't think that that's likely to turn around, even if we do see an end to the war. I think we'll see a pump if that happens. But right now, my money is, look, I'm still holding into a bit of this long position. But if we see any sort of pullback through this structure, any sort of change in the fundamental situation, any sort of regression on those peace talks, then I'm going to be probably looking to get out the rest of my profit in this trade and maybe even look to go short, right? I'd rather go short on a break of the highs and then see the reaction again. But that is a story for another day. But there we go. For the time being, I remain in my long. We're up about $250 unrealized profit. Took out about $200 profit this week. Update to peace talks in Iran, potential extension of the ceasefire, and we've got the S&P breaking out to new all-time highs, which is absolutely incredible. That's all I've got for you right now. Don't get trapped by this. But of course, that's not advice. That's just my opinion shared for entertainment purposes. Thanks so much for watching.